Hello my lovelies, and welcome back to Allotment of the Dead. And today I thought we'd do a bit of a plot tour. It's about the 11th of September now, so we'll have an idea what's going on in the month of September down on the Allotment of the Dead. So let's go and have a look. Okay, so entrance to the plot, the buddleia, and the wife has taken down most of the grapes for this year. Again, I'm not very good with grapes, so there's a great big pile of cuttings to take up to the bonfire, and hopefully they should be burnt very shortly. And the rosella has just started to get some flowers, so might get some nice little flowers on this. With rosella, it's actually the calyx of the flower that you actually harvest, so people use that for making jams and jellies and preserves. And these are my parsnips. Again, not many again this year. There'll be a few for Christmas. That's about all I need really. Okay, let's walk back round to the other side. So, a few beetroot. Again, I think they've not done too well here, but we'll see how that goes. And my Aztec broccoli has finally got its flower heads on it, so it's these that basically you harvest for food. Cook them as you would a normal broccoli. So I've done a bit of weeding on this flower bed here. One solitary cosmos decided to self-seed. And my brassica cage. So got a few kale plants in there now still, and there's a couple of nice cabbages growing. I got the netting from Amazon just to try and keep the cabbage whites out. So into the aubergine house. So you'll notice expanse of orange and yellow kicking around. So marigolds, I grew them as sacrificial plants, but they seem to have done really well, almost better than the actual aubergines that were growing in here. So I have a kiwi fruit here, male and female, because you need both to actually get the fruit. A vine from this year, and into the aubergines. So there's some nice aubergine plants growing. So Purple Night, and that one's called Aswad. And I've got some nice white ones growing as well. So we'll harvest some of those today. And this plant here is the kiwi berry. It'll be like the kiwi fruit. They're grape-sized kiwis. Takes about 5 years or so before you get any fruit on it. But it's self-fertile, so I only need one plant, and that's what I've got in there. Okay, back out. So I've managed to pick myself up a white buddleia. It's gone past the season now, so I've got 4 colours of buddleia now. So I've got blue, purple, red, and now white. If there are any other colours, let me know. And this is my loganberry and tayberry. See, there's an expanse of long tendrils growing everywhere. A thing with loganberries and tayberries, similar to blackberries in that the fruit will be on the previous year's growth. So when the plant puts its fruit out, hopefully those will be on the vines that you've tied in, and once the that season has gone, the plant will have grown a load more of these long tendrils which spread out along the floor, and those are the ones you'll tie in for next year's fruit. So my castor bean plant looking well past its best now. It's just the seed pods now that we're waiting on, and the wild type passion flower, not passion flower, digitalis has gone over now, and the acanthus mollis is still doing well. So I have a couple of plants here that have gone to seed. So it's a grass family, but these two plants are actually sugarcane. I kind of had some seeds left over and I thought I'll throw them in, just see how they do. And my Nepetia has been completely and totally destroyed, I think, by the big ginger cat. Not much left of it now. The kale that's sitting here quite merrily now. It's been here about a year and a half now. So this is what they call perennial kale or cottager's kale. So it doesn't go to seed. It is propagated by taking a stem off, chucking it in the ground, and it hopefully roots, and that's where you get your next fruit. And carrots, these are about ready to come out now. It looks like some of them have gone to seed here, so I'll be taking these out this week. Okay, there's my red buddleia. So into the other poison garden. So the monkshood is doing really, really well now. Colours on it are absolutely gorgeous. And we've had a second flush of the Goldcrest foxgloves. And these big red spears of flowers are self-seeded callaloo that I had from about 2 years ago. But again, once you've had them for a while, they do carry on growing in the same place. And lots of borage still growing, along with the foxgloves growing back again. So my bean plants are looking quite bedraggled now, but these are the type of beans where you harvest not the pods, you harvest the beans inside the pods. So we'll let them dry out and then we'll be able to harvest them. And we've had a really good season for the acacia this year. Still some massive fruit on here, so we'll harvest a few of them and see what we can make with them. And my cola plant always smells really good, and garlic chives, again, that garlicky taste to them. So the sunflowers have done really well this year, and some nice big heads on them, and we'll see if we can harvest a few of them before the squirrels and the birds get them. We'll see how that goes. Okay. I do like my flowers kicking around all over the place, so a couple of potted plants. This one here is a syringia, which hopefully should smell really, really good. And I've got some beans to harvest there, some of the dragon tongue beans that I've saved for seed. Okay, so the cilantro doing really, really well. Looks like I'm going to have to cut back some of the flowering heads again. They decided to try and bolt. I'll keep nipping them out, and hopefully the leaves should continue to grow. And the basil has not really stopped all year. It's been really, really good. Been one of those things that we've already had quite a few harvests of it, and hopefully it should continue to give us a few more before the frost kick in. Okay, so the outside tomatoes are still producing, still past their best, and I picked around 5 kilograms the other day, and I think we're probably going to have a few more again to do stuff with. Okay, so a couple of trays of stones. Brings the bees in. The bees are always in danger of drowning in water, so a few stones in a shallow tray would enable the bee to land and get a good drink. And my bean structure seems to have fallen over. Been a bit windy of late, so I've still got a few beans on there to cut, to pick. Most of them will be quite stringy now though, so I think we'll save a few for seeds. We've had a few off this. And my sweet corn, it's actually popcorn I'm growing, so it's about probably 8 feet high, and it's got some nice cobs growing now. So this is a glass corn. If you Google glass corn, you'll find these really, really nice multicolored sheaves of corn with really kind of glassy textured coloured kernels. Again, some more outside tomatoes, and these are blight ridden, so these will be coming out over the next day or so. They were just ones I had left over that I thought I'd throw in to see if they did any good. And some more acacia growing, again doing really, really well this year. One of my colleagues on the plot has grown these this year, and didn't do so well for him. I think he may have put them out a little bit too early, and the cold weather got them before they had a chance to establish. So I've broken the first rule of sweet corn. So I've just shown you the glass corn I've got there, and the reason why I put the acacia there and the tomatoes was to try and make a sort of screen between this corn and the glass corn. So this corn here is actually another popcorn, but it's got really jet black kernels. But again, it's done quite well. The kernels are, or the corn is actually swelling quite well. You can feel that. Okay, so we'll take the scenic route around the squash cage. A lot of these seem to be dying back now, but there are some nice squashes growing. Hopefully there's a little bit of time left before the end of October, and we'll get some nice ones for Halloween. So this is my blackberry. So again, like the loganberries and the tayberries I showed you earlier, the tied in ones were the ones that the fruit was on this year, and it's grown another load of tendrils this year, which I'll tie in for fruiting next year. Again, the squashes are growing out through the structure, so hopefully we'll get a few more before the end of October. You see there is again some nice pumpkins growing, and the cosmos is absolutely beautiful this year. Bright white purity, so this one here is called Purity. Really nice, and it shows up really well at night, that one. Okay, that's a Tromboncino I've got outside. This was planted the same time as the plant that I've got inside the polytunnel. And again, there's a nice white pumpkin. So there's a few pumpkins in here and squashes, so some nice sized ones and some growing on the structure. And again, the cosmos is looking absolutely fantastic. I think maybe it's outcompeted some of the squashes this year, so I'm probably not going to grow quite so many next year. But it's had that added bonus of bringing the bees in, so where the bees are, they'll have come in for the cosmos, but while they're here, they'll always pollinate the squashes as well. So hopefully we should get some nice squashes. It's kind of funny, where you're walking, there's always what looks like a snake, and that's another Tromboncino that's decided to disguise itself as a snake. Okay, the mulberry is rampant at the moment, so I'm going to have to probably cut this back a little bit because it's encroaching on the path, and as it grows out, there's a good chance it might try and pierce the polytunnel as well, so have to keep it under control. So we'll end in the polytunnels. So that's one of my Tromboncinos that was on the floor this morning. So again, this was hanging up in the doorway of this polytunnel, a bit like this one. So the plant for this is literally where those two are there. So it's decided to try and grow out, make a break for it. Okay, flowers still doing well outside. So this lovely vanilla Wisley, and I've planted some fennel, probably too late, but we'll give it a go. See if it gives us something kind of before November time. Might not have a massive amount of time to swell up and make me some nice big fennel, but some of these things are trial and error. Give it a go. If it works, it works. If it don't, won't last too much, just a few seeds, a little bit of time watering and that sort of thing. But what else would I be doing with my life? It's a good way of passing the time, and there's nothing better really than getting a lot of this fresh air and listening to the magpies. I think that something's irritated them. So I've got some spring onions in this one. Again, I think these will need a watering today. Okay, into the polytunnel. So I've cut back the cucamelons and I've harvested everything that was there today. And see the chilies now are really taking off quite well. So this is the furry Onza, and you can see the chilies are really quite prolific on this. The Buena Mulata, I've harvested some of those today, and again numerous varieties of other ones. So there's quite a few cayenne peppers, and just here there's some more scorpion chilies. And as we go along, yeah, one of my favorites. So these are the lemon drop chilies. These will be bright yellow, a bit like that one there. See if it will. There we go, bright yellow. And lots of cayenne type. So these are red flame, which is a hot cayenne, and sugar rush, again one of my favorites. You get a sweet pod that's really nice, sweet. And Berber brown, so that's an Ethiopian, quite a warm chili. So at the end here I've got some of my super hots. So this big plant here that's growing, lots of flowers on it, are a really hot chili called Komodo Dragon. So I'm hoping to get lots of fruit on that one. When I come down, I always give this one, in fact I give most of them a good shake, just to improve the pollination and help them along. So my Corella this year again have done really well. So the green variety, so these will be harvested this week. And big top, and this gorgeous white variety. Okay, so we go along. So again, these nice cayenne type chilies, these are a Chinese variety. Again, quite warm, but a nice tasting chili. Again, my flowers still inside, and nasturtiums grown as a sacrificial, but again they've done really well this year, and planted alongside the geraniums. Again, just bring those pollinators in just to help everything else get pollinated and set the fruit. So okay, another one of my favorite chilies is a really mild chili called this is Mulata Isleno, and it's a really nice mild smoky chili, really tasty. Okay, let's try and get past the doorman here. A couple of really nice tromboncinos. You see my Gloriosa lilies this year have been absolutely beautiful. That beautiful red and fiery kind of colouring to the flowers, really impressive. Okay, we'll go through. So I've harvested pretty much nearly all of the cucumbers now. There's still a few kicking around, but not many. And there's not many flowers. I don't think there's any flowers around at the moment. So that's pretty much whatever's on these now is pretty much it. So what we'll do this week is probably clear out this polytunnel of all the cucumbers, just to again get a little bit more light into here, and then we'll start thinking about what we're going to plant over the November and winter period. So you see these nice brown cucumbers. So these are the Sikkim cucumbers. That absolutely gorgeous outer colour, outer covering, which is really quite a hard outer covering, but that inside is really nice and tender. And the two tromboncinos I have left in here, again, done really, really well. They're just starting to get this nice orange colour to them, which is kind of what you get from a pumpkin when it ripens. Okay, so we'll move to the end, and again we've got some more chilies and a nice sweet pepper, Criolla de Cochina. Nice, when it goes red, it's a really nice shape and colour to it. There's a few more sugar rush in there, and a few melon plants still kicking around. There's not any melons on it. I'm not sure I'm going to get anything at all this year, but I think if I do them next year, I'll have to start them a lot earlier. And this one here is a self-seeded chili from last year. So this is Anchor Sunrise, and I've grown this lots of years running. So you get this nice yellow coloured chili, which again has got kind of a Thai chili kind of heat to it, and then it goes red. But you can harvest it at any time you like, and the heat generally it will build till it gets to the red, but there's not a massive amount of difference. So my datura plant has decided finally to put out some more flowers, and you've got these nice fruiting vessels here. So another name for this plant is the thorn apple. So that's basically the reason why it's called a thorn apple. So you can see there's again more flowers growing on some of the other ones. The Brugmansia has also started to get some flowers on it. So these flower buds will be open probably this week, and we'll come back and have a look at those. But again, these should be quite impressive. Some really large, nice white funnel shaped flowers, a little bit like the purple ones here. See these nice purple ones, but these ones are going to be a stark white color. Okay, so the only tomato I have left in the polytunnel is this Cocktail Crush, and again, no signs of blight. It's blight resistant variety, and again, it's just doing so well. All of these have ripened on the vine, so we'll harvest those this week. Again, such a nice tasting fruit. And the last plant that we've got here, or a couple of plants that we've got here, are okra. So we've got these nice little fruiting flowers that will be coming out. So this is a member of the hibiscus family. So the flowers will look quite hibiscus-like. So this one was open this morning, and it's closed up at night. I'm going to pop down again tomorrow and see if it opens again. Might do, it might not, because if it's already been pollinated, it won't open again. But again, it's got that nice white open hibiscus type flower. Okay, let's just move back out into the outside, or as much as the outside as we can find. Right, let's just switch you around. Okay, so that was just a quick update on what I've still got growing down the plot. Still plenty of chilies to grow and to harvest, and hopefully they'll ripen within the polytunnels quite well before the frost sets in. I might try and overwinter a couple of those in there, but I've always had a little bit of a mixed, what's the word? A mixed success really with them. A lot of them generally die. It's quite difficult to protect them down the plot because, again, it's still such an open area, quite an open space, even in the polytunnel. Covering them with fleece and things doesn't always give you the right result. And when the frost gets in, you'll see them quite quickly start getting that kind of brownness to the stems where they just start dying off. The frost damage is quite extensive when it starts. So first week of November is kind of what I'm expecting, because that's kind of what it's been probably for the last 5 years or so. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this, and hopefully we'll see you again shortly. If you like what I'm putting out, please think about subscribing. It will help me, give me a bit of encouragement, and get me down here again, showing you what else I'm doing down here. So until next time, all the best to you. Bye bye.